Check, check, check. One, two, one, two, one, two. One, two, one. Oh, that's better. That's better. That's better. What's going on, people? Rebel advocates. How you going? How you doing, guys? Everyone all right? Enjoying the weather? It's looking good out there, isn't it? It's going to look even better this week. Anyway, we're back again with some nice subjects. Is anyone there with me? Who that? Man like Johnny?
Did that, man. You good?
Johnny, sounding a bit low there, old chap. You all right?
Can you hear me properly now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm did it, man. You good?
Yeah. Enjoying the weather?
Yeah. Nice little day today, man.
Seeing. Good. Who else is there? Artie?
Yeah, what's happening, guys?
You alright, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Yourself?
There.
Yeah.
Did you get out there today?
Yeah, man, a little bit. It's hot, isn't it? Nice day today. Got a bit of an Indian summer coming up, I think, this week, hopefully.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Just checking volumes and everything, guys. Just checking the volumes and everything.
Yeah, no worries, man.
So what? Shall we? Do you want to kick it off, Johnny?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. That's cool.
Do you want to kick it off with your thing? What you saying? Because you said something interesting to me a couple of days ago about that thing, some silly decisions thing.
Yeah, well, for people that don't know, in football they got a thing called VAR. It's like a thing that obviously some video assistant referee thing or whatever. And it's like last season there was a controversial moment where there was Tottenham playing Chelsea, and one of the Tottenham players pulled the Chelsea man's hair, pulled him by the hair. So that should have been an automatic foul, innit? But the referee at the time, Anthony Taylor, he wasn't sent to the screen by the VAR match official Mike Dean, and everyone seen it was a clear foul. You can't just pull someone's hair like that. And I thought it was a bit weird. The man that was in charge of VAR, Mike Dean, he was on a podcast last week, and he quoted, "I missed the stupid hair pull at Chelsea versus Tottenham, which was pathetic from my point of view. It's one of them where if I had my time again, what would I do? I'd send Anthony Taylor to the screen. I said to Anthony Taylor afterwards, I just didn't want to send you to the screen after what has gone on in the game. I didn't want to send him up because he is a mate as well as a referee. And I didn't think I didn't want to send him up because I didn't want any more grief than he already had in the game. That was a major error. If they don't score from the corner, it is not a big issue on my behalf," said Mike Dean, who had acknowledged his mistake at the time of the incident. "I knew full well I would be stood down by the week after the match. I asked to take a bit of time off because it wasn't for me. I used to get in the car on a Friday and was dreading Saturday evening kickoffs. I was thinking, I hope nothing happens today," he added. "I used to be petrified sitting in the VAR chair." So to me, that just looked like it was just corruption from the top, innit? And it was just mates trying to do a next mate a favor, knowing that it was the wrong call that he made. You get it? So it's just this refereeing in England and the use of VAR to me is just needs to get scrapped, and they need to just put other people in that know what, or like that ain't mates in it, and just that are prepared to do the job properly. I don't know what you lot think about it.
Don't we see that right in the don't we see that in the refereeing? Like sometimes one player or one player might do a silly foul and then make he'll got a yellow card straight away, and then they'll make another silly foul, and then he might not send that person off straight away even though they deserve. You understand?
Yes.
We see that in the whole system already. It's all messed up, isn't it? That sounds a little bit similar. Okay, you're trying to, all right, now I'll give him the benefit. Then we need robots then, right?
Yeah.
100%.
Robot linesmen and kind of stuff like that. Take that away, isn't it? To take that sort of level of sort of biasness away, where you've got that kind of level of corruption. It's very difficult to take out there, isn't it? You know, I mean, unless you know, because he's come up and basically said about it. Now he's basically opened up and said that, yeah, you know what I mean, he wouldn't do this and that, and I'm sure he's not the first or last that he's going to do that. You know what I mean? And you've seen all the betting scandals coming through as well now, so it's interesting to see him come out and actually say that now.
To me, it's just bad though, you guys, because I'm thinking about, obviously, you're not going to get decisions 100% correct, but why is it in this country it's used so badly? Like, what? I don't get it. I watch football in Germany, France, Spain, and they don't have the problems we have with VAR. I don't get it. I don't know. Get me? Are they not friends that are using it abroad? I don't get it. Why it's so corrupt in this country?
Yeah, exactly what you said. I think. Don't you think it's a part of the corruption? It's the way they can still cheat, right? Because look at all these all of these players have been getting done for cheating. You know, like this other guy, that Brentford guy, got that done it for, and he had how many charges? So many charges, spanning back how many years? And maybe this is a part of the game, right? That nobody likes to talk about. That nobody likes to talk about. This is a serious part of the game that nobody don't like to talk about. What do you think? Anyone?
Go on, guys. Sorry. No, I think it just, it is. It doesn't. It's almost a bit taboo, isn't it? It's like a taboo subject. They don't want to talk about it so much, but you know it's there, isn't it? And you know it's going on. Goes on with players betting, and I'm damn sure it goes on with officials taking bribes, or you know, they could be doing whatever in it. They could be, like you said, doing the same betting sort of situations and stuff like that. And they're even in sort of a better situation to totally control everything anyway, and sort of make it look as official as possible, if you know what I mean. So they're in that sort of box seat in it, where they can actually change things and do little sly things, you know, and then it's very hard to decipher it. But yeah, I think it's going on a lot now, but it's not like to be sort of spoken about a lot, it seems like, anyway.
And it's always the lower, you know, the lowest level getting demonized, like the players, you know. Like you look at every kind of level in society, it's always the lowest people getting the finger pointed at them, you know. Like you know, you see them silly programs on the TV about the police and all that, and they're always getting that little low level person, you know. They're never dealing with the what was that guy, the investigative guy that used to do the investigative reports? Not McIntyre. It was him, innit? McIntyre.
Yeah, that was McIntyre. That's right. Yeah.
And he used to go for bigger people, didn't he? He used to go for bigger people, and they just shut him down quickly because, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to see that stuff. Like, you see that, innit? It's always the lowest level. So it's the lowest level in football. The players, yeah, getting
yes,
getting, you know, made an example of, when you got these other people. I don't know. What are you saying, Johnny?
Well, but it's just, to me, it's just disgusting to hear my man just say, like, it's like you're saying, it's at the lowest level, and it's like the people at the top need to be called out because they shouldn't be allowing these mistakes, like things like this to happen, like mates and all that. Like mates, what are mates on the same board doing anyway on a VAR and referee? That shouldn't be going on. You get me? It should just be random people that know how to like control and referee the game, not mates. Like, come on.
I remember
What?
I remember this match long time ago with United against somebody, and it was Rooney when he was playing for Man United, and you guys might remember it, and that it came up. It was like, I don't know, somebody skin him, yeah, somebody skin Rooney, and he just kicked after him. You understand? He was gone. It was nothing to kick after, and he didn't even get a card for that. They didn't even give him a card for that because it was probably at Old Trafford, that match, Alex
Yeah.
Ferguson times, and they didn't want to send him off and potentially they'll lose the match. Yeah, look, there you go, innit? Even the Old Trafford thing, everybody knows the Old Trafford rules back in them days, the Fergie times, where everybody they would twist the referee and all that rubbish. That was the talk anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of manipulation there, isn't it? And putting pressure on the refs, But then, like you said, they're probably like sit there, have tea, or maybe something a little bit stronger with certain managers back in the day. You know what I mean? And just, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say go through the result, not going maybe that deep, but in terms of having some formal relationship, I suppose you have to kind of have a relationship with an official to a point if you're a manager of a big club. But how close, you know what I mean? Did some sort of officials get with certain teams and stuff? And does make you wonder. You see a lot of games, like you said, with certain teams playing, and yeah, they rarely get a penalty called against them at home, or yeah, they get the Fergie time, isn't it? That was it, innit? He actually got that sort of name in it, that tagline, Fergie time, because he used to play like untold injury time. You know, I mean, the sort of time they're almost playing nowadays because of this new law coming this season. But yeah, that's how it felt then.
What
That there
about
was almost play till they scored sort of thing.
what about up there? What about up there? Anything signs of that? Anything you can share about up there if it goes on
Yeah,
up there?
we had terrible ones, man. We had actual officials would come out and said to some of our players in games. I'm not talking now, maybe sort of 15, 20 years ago, that they wouldn't give a penalty against Rangers. Just certain officials in it, they're from certain areas and certain places, and they wouldn't do that. You know, I mean, they won't give. There's been some blatant decisions gone past, and with many other clubs as well. And yeah, they seem to still get a lot of decisions and kind of stuff like that, depending on where certain, referees were from, what sort of religion they might be from. So yeah, that goes up there. And that's been going on badly for decades, more blatant. I even think the sort of officials in Scotland are even worse than England, which might seem hard, but I don't think so. Or maybe they're by design, you know what I mean? Because when you see some of the decisions they're making, and like Johnny said, even with the help of VAR, which is supposed to be there to assist them and make it a smoother transition, sometimes some of the calls they're giving aren't great, you know what I mean? And that's, you know what I mean, to put it mildly, I think. So yeah, that's been going on for decades up there as well. The sort of, I mean, it's almost like a political biasness, you know what I mean?
I hear that, and I hear that.
But yeah, it does make a mockery of it when you're saying, obviously, the VAR is supposed to come in and make aid things on these shores. But like you said, on these shores, it seems to be almost sort of creating a bigger problem than any sort of resolution, really, half the time. Most weeks you're seeing controversial VAR calls given, and you know what I mean? In other countries it seems a lot smoother.
I hear that. I haven't seen one Sutton the other week with an ex-referee, and he was saying about he wouldn't book certain players or send certain players off because they're not that type of player. And I'm thinking, come on, man, you book a person on merit, innit? If they've done something to get booked or sent off, you deal with it. You don't think, oh, they're not that sort of player. Like, bro, we might just have to get robots, just like what teacher said earlier on, bro, because cause to me, you're always going to have some sort of bias in the game. It's either you support a certain team or you have a friend, or it's always going to be biased, man. They just have to do something to this gut out the whole system, man. Because it's just when I heard that, I wouldn't book a player because they're not that type of player. I'm thinking, bro, you know, and look, they're not going to do it when they're like still in the game, but it's when you hear it afterwards, you're like, it's like you kind of know it at the time, but when they come out and clarify it now, you're looking at it like, bro, like this thing's deeper than what man thinks, man.
No, 100%. I think you've got to question some of these sort of the morals and integrity of these guys. But I think if you know the game itself now, there's not much based upon that. It's run totally by money, isn't it now? Where the richest clubs have the most money and sort of in terms of that, and they all seem to find their way around sort of money and sort of issues of legality. And there's always a core group at the top now, innit? And you'll see the same sort of teams most year in, year out. So arguably those same said teams would probably get some of the more favourable decisions year in, year out, you know what I mean?
Cool.
And that's not changing, I don't think.
What do you remember the old Mr. Rennie, that referee, yeah?
Yeah.
What did you think, both of you, question to both of you, what did you think of the decisions that he made as a ref?
He was kind of rash, I'm not going to lie. He did make a lot of rash decisions, but he was, all right, he made a lot of rash decisions, but he stuck by his guns, innit? Like, if you know what I mean. He made rash decisions, but no one couldn't sway him, innit? Once he made that decision, he was just like, all right, cool. That's a straight red card. Boom, you're gone, innit? He wasn't in a that you can try and change my mind or sway me or anything. But yeah, he was a bit rash still, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him being a bit rash and stuff, but I don't think it was that bad. He doesn't stick out with me like a guy that made too many bad calls. I mean, he was when was he? I think he was a while back, was it? I think they said 2007, 8, them times there. So, but it nothing really bad sticks out. You know, when you think of other people, like, what was his name? We was going to talk about earlier on, Mike Dean and
Taylor and
guys like that. They seem to stick out more for being more controversial, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Really card ready. Whereas he might have been a bit like that, but don't seem to stick out in my mind as someone that was that bad. I thought he was a decent ref. You know, and in at least those times, that's you know what I mean, pre-VAR, it was a bit different, innit? There was a little bit more on the ref to make the call now. And that's what sort of Johnny was saying, wasn't it? They've rung in VAR now to help and aid the situation now, but you've got these men coming out talking like that, and making statements like that. So you can have the VAR, but you've seen times where they say, oh, go over and check it or whatever, or the guy don't check it or vice versa. So, yeah, I thought he wasn't a bad ref overall, though. You know, you're right, Rennie.
Yeah, so listen, so do you think he was like a traditional ref, both of you? Question.
Yeah,
he was, yeah.
You thought he was like that, so what, do you think he made decisions like the referees make the decisions, like you just said? Okay, you know, oh, he's not that character, for example. He's not that character, so I wouldn't give him.
Nah. He wasn't on that. He would book you on merit. He'll be like, all right, that's a foul. I'm gonna book you in it.
Mm.
So then my point is this now. Don't you think that would have been the change? Yeah? That would have been the change of referees if they followed that the way he refed. But they weren't nobody was ready for that. Everybody saw, this person making bad decisions, even though he didn't make too many bad decisions. There was a lot more refs that made a lot worse decisions than he did. So don't you think that reflects in the people are reluctant to change? What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's an element of that in there, isn't it? That there's a reluctancy to change and maybe follow a particular ideal or standard way to ref, or they have, like you guys said, a premeditated perception of somebody. You know what I mean? To say, oh, he's not that guy. He didn't. What I mean? I can't book him. Well, no, like you said before, you have to put people on the merit of the offence. You know what I mean? That takes place, not on reputation or anything. You know what I mean? It's like you said, the thing with Rooney, innit? And he's lashing out, and that being at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? Certain man wouldn't even think about drawing the card out of the pocket. You know what I mean? Whereas other man maybe would say, nah, break from the norm. Doesn't matter who you are. You have to hold a booking for that. You know what I mean?
And that he wasn't that type of player, was he? Really, was he? Rooney, he wasn't that type of player to kick you like that when you're way gone, was he?
Oh, I say he was.
Was he?
Had a dirt. Yeah, Rooney was a little dirty player, man.
To give a blatant foul like that? So blatant, yeah.
Kick up the players, with a little violent streak in him. You know what I mean?
So that's even worse than that he didn't give him the card then, isn't it?
Well, exactly. But that's the thing that you're just saying, is like based on his reputation as a player and England's number 9 or kind of whatever, you know what I mean? He can't be seen to be booking. I mean, he must have held up booking. I don't know if he got sent off in his career. I think he might have done.
I think yes, yeah.
But he certainly had that in his temperament, you know what I mean? But like you said, some of them, man, were too prang, or they just were basically said, no, I'm not going to book him because of who he is. And you still see that now, you know what I mean? So it does make you wonder about, obviously, levels of corruption and everything going on in terms of backhanders, kind of whatever, you know what I mean? And they've got all this betting crap going on as well. So, yeah, sad as it is, isn't it? It's still there like that. Sort of.
But the corruption's there more than most, because if you check Fulham, I think 3 weeks in a row they've had a bad VAR decision. They had one against Arsenal last week where I can't remember, something happened, and they had one yesterday against Man City when it was offside, and even Haaland come out after the match and said that goal shouldn't have stood, it was offside. So it's, and even the Fulham manager Marco Silva's like, it works for the big teams, innit? And he's gonna get a ban because you can't do that, innit? So he's come out and said week after week, he's like, this can't carry on happening, innit? Like, these decisions, they're blatant decisions, and you're not even sending the ref, or VAR's not even calling it. Like, it's a blatant offside, but the big teams, they just let it slide, innit?
Yeah, of course, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's poor. They've been sort of the victim of several calls this year. But like we're saying, innit, if you're not that team, or they were a bigger team, I doubt if they'll be getting all them calls week in, week out going against them. You know what I mean? Without any of them being rectified. But yeah, that's sort of the corruption there, isn't it?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So what are you saying? Do you think is it working, Johnny? Is it the VAR, the assistant referee. It's not really working, is it? Really, it seems like it's a more way of a cheat. It's more of a way of to cheat. What do you say?
It's working in other countries, yeah, but not but not over here.
Definitely.
And they take so long to make a decision over here as well. When you watch other countries and at the World Cup and stuff like that, it's an instant decision. Boom. Send it to the referee via, they go look at the screen. Boom. No goal, offside, foul, red, whatever. Over here, they take like 5 minutes, 10, like, and you're like, come on, man. If it's not blatant, just if it's not a blatant mistake, then just get me. Stick with your on-field decision, but these lot are just they're making a mockery out of it. But yeah, man, it's working abroad, but over here, either they have to get classes how to do it from other countries. Go over to other countries and see how they regulate it, or we'll just get some new guys in, man, that know what they're doing. They should be in a course how to use the thing, or I don't know.
What about the thingy? What about the Did you see it in the Women's World Cup? In it was not long ago, right?
Yeah.
Did you see any dramas in there with the VAR or long decisions, long taking decisions or anything? Did you see any of that in there?
Not that I quite remember, you know. I think everything was quite swiftly their team.
Yeah, I see they had a few VARs over. I didn't see a lot of the games, all of them, but I saw a few. They had quite a few calls, and some of them were a little bit long, but it weren't too bad. You don't mind also if you taking long's not good, like you said, but if you do take long and you make the right decision, it's kind of like, okay, you took long, but you've got somewhere at the end. But after time, they're taking forever and they're making the wrong call anyway. You know what I mean? So,
but why should they take long if they've got all that video assistance in there? Why should it take long? It shouldn't take that. It should be a much quicker. And they've got how many? And they've got how many? What is it? Usually 4 or 5 people in there as well, isn't it?
Yeah, they got a good 4 or 5. And
how long should it take? It should be. All right, you got 4 or 5 people there, and you got the ref before. So the ref used to make the decision before, and then it was all down to him, and it was quick. So it should be a lot quicker, no?
It should be quicker, yeah. Then the sort of the length of time you're seeing it take now, yeah. You see the incident, you might look at it from one other angle or something, because there's sometimes a couple of angles, you know what I mean? And then you just make a judgment quickly, yeah. None of this dilly-dally in 5 minutes on, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And sort of humming and hawing, going back for a second look, you know what I mean? It's not going to change, innit? I mean, the image ain't going to change. It's the same thing there all the time. But yeah, so hopefully you want they need to speed up the decisions, I think, innit? You know what I mean? Quicker, and maybe that would make people not so skeptical of it over here, you know what I mean?
I remember in that tournament, that women's tournament, it was like, if it went to that VAR, it was a penalty or something like that, innit? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Anytime it went there, some foul was gonna get given. Does that?
Yeah.
Did they see you was talking about the Fulham thing the other day, and the other thing you said 2 things, Fulham and something else. Did they go to the screen?
Right there.
Yeah, the Fulham thing they checked, innit? They checked the Fulham thing.
They checked
the guy
it,
was
but didn't give
standing
it.
in the eyes like, yeah,
but they
didn't give it. It was offside and he didn't give it. Remember, John, he said it weren't interfering with play, even though he was.
But everyone in the match says it was, like, even the Man City players are saying, and the manager,
yeah.
it shouldn't have stood.
No,
Everyone thought it was off. Everyone's thought it was offside, apart from the VAR people.
Which is crazy, exactly. That's the problem then. So if you
they got all the technology, like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's a mad one, isn't it? That's it. If you took the VAR out of it, 9 out of 10 times they would have called it offside, because he was standing right in the goalie's eye line, innit? Basically, jumped out of the way, sort of thing. But because they went to the VAR, there was humming and hawing saying, well, he weren't directly in his eye line. Come on, mate. You know, if that call was the other way round, You know what I mean? It would have been offside, didn't it?
They probably wouldn't have give it.
Exactly.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Go on, Johnny. Final word on it.
Final word is, bro, teach them how to use the thing properly, man, and stop all of this mates business. Like, get me? You have to look at their background and see what connection they got with the people, and if you got anything like you think they're friends or anything, just switch them up, man. Be like, nah, man, you can't be on the team today. You get it? Because that's the only way I think we're going to start to stamp out some of the corruption in that VAR team.
Okay, another thing, seeing as we're on that thing, what about your? We got to say about the Spain thing, the Spain women's thing, the kissing thing.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look. It weren't a good look for the fella. I mean, he tried to. I don't know what the whole. He was talking about. She lifted him up and stuff, and yeah, I didn't see that happening. I don't know if any of you guys were witness to the alleged lift. Johnny, did you see the lift?
The lift?
The lift from the woman to the Spanish brother who kissed her up.
No.
He said, that was the initial thing, innit? He said that, yeah, she lifted him up and that, you know what I mean?
What do you think about it, Johnny?
He's a madman, isn't it? That's why he's a madman. I don't know. The only thing, we spoke about this before, isn't it? I feel for him to do that, they've had some relations before that something's gone. I reckon we're gonna hear in a few weeks something's happened between them two, present or in the past. That's why he felt so comfortable doing what he did. Because why didn't he do it to everyone else or someone else? Why did he pick that particular woman there? Something's going on with them two. I don't know what it is, but yeah, man, we're gonna hear in a few weeks. Them two have been doing things, man. Because you would, to me, he seems like a mad brother anyway. But you wouldn't just do that randomly like that, and you know that all the eyes of the world are watching you like that, and yeah, but he shouldn't have done it, innit? And he to me, he should stand down, innit? But he's already said he isn't going to stand down, and the head coach of the men's team has stood by him and said he shouldn't stand down as well. So, and then you got his mom doing some hunger strike thing in some church team. It's all gone mad, innit? And now you got Spanish men and Spanish women's football team saying they ain't gonna play again until my man's relieved of his job. So yeah, man, he should just do the right thing and stand down. Just apologize, stand down, and get someone else in it, because it's untenable. I don't know how we can carry on doing the job, man.
All right. Cool. That was nice. Nice. I like that. I like that one. Okay. We're gonna move into the toxic femininity. So listen. Are we okay? Somebody, are we okay with our women? All right, let's just say you're gonna have your partner, okay, your partner, and she's earning more than you. Are you okay with that, guys?
Personally, yeah, I am. I'm okay with it. Don't have an issue with that personally. You know what I mean? It's her earnings are her earnings. To be fair, if she earns more than me, I don't mind that myself. You know what I mean? I don't know what Johnny thinks about that one. Yeah, I'm done, man.
I'm cool with it still, but I'm cool with it to an extent. To don't be throwing certain things in my face, innit? Like, if you're gonna earn more money and you choose to buy me certain things, I don't want to hear it when we hit a rough patch and you'll be like, oh, I bought you that, I paid for this, I paid for that. And it's like, yeah, I'm not into all of that still, but for a woman to be earning more money than me if I'm in a relationship with her, I don't see a problem with it, to tell the truth. That I think that would just push me more to do better, if you know what I mean, and just be like, you know what, I need to step my game up and start earning more in it. But I don't see a problem with it.
Okay, what about what about when you come home? Let's just say you're coming home from a hard day's work, right? And you're tired, yeah? You're tired, you're hungry, you want some food. There's no food on the table. Now, is it should your woman cook the food at that time for you to have some dinner? What do you think, guys?
Well, if she's busy working, then I don't see how that's gonna run. But if she's not working and she's reached home before you and she hasn't fixed you a decent meal, then I see that as a problem. You get it? But if she's busy working non-stop and she's snowed under with work, then nah, that's for you to sort that out for yourself.
Artie?
Yeah, yeah. No, I think if you're here, I think if she's here and she's, I don't see not so much of expectation maybe, but there's a little bit of that in terms of you would expect to come home and have some food, and vice versa. I would do the same thing. You know what I mean? So if you're like kind of Johnny was saying, there are times when people are snowed under and we're working like hard, sometimes long extra hours, and can kind of, that's a bit different. But if you're here and you're sort of available to a point, if you know what I'm saying, then I think there's a level of expectancy there that maybe, yeah, you should be cooking a meal for your partner, you know what I mean, and have something there for when you come home from work, innit? I think that's sort of the basics, isn't it? It's not um, sort of looking at it through sort of a sexist mindset or anything like that. As I said, it goes both ways.
We saying like a teamwork thing. If like
Yeah,
if you're working, I'll cook. If she's working, she'll cook. Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%. The same way it goes either way. If anybody's there and available, and or you finish work earlier, or you get in earlier, and I think there's that duty or responsibility to crack on and do it. You know what I mean? There is also that part of us that's human sometimes, where either or of us are working long hours or whatever, and you're tired and you can't be asked sometimes. You know what I mean? And that part of it I get as well, because we're not robots. But I think, yeah, there is that little part that does expect a meal either way. I think, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. What about all right, here's a good one. What about your your you got a friend, a woman friend, okay, and she she sleeps around a lot, let's just say, yeah.
Mm.
Is she any different than the guy that sleeps around?
No, but in societies, the way it's always been, it will be looked at, yes, isn't it? That's the reality of society, isn't it? And the way that it's always been perceived. If you're not by all men, you know what I mean, but if you sleep around and you're a player and you get another notch on the belt, then it's all good in you know what I mean, in kind of certain male psyche. And if you're a woman and you sleep around, then you know what I mean, then generally you're described, you know what I mean, in uncertain terms as being whatever, you know. I'm not trying to say the words, but you know what I'm saying. And that's the way it's always been, isn't it? And rightfully or wrongfully, that's the way that a lot of people still look at it through those eyes. I don't know what you guys think.
Johnny?
I think how can I put this now? Without, I basically think a woman shouldn't be doing what a man does in that case. Because it's not, it's, they just shouldn't be doing it like how men do it, innit? That's my honest opinion, innit? Like, obviously, there's a lot of women that do it, or probably do more than what men are doing, but they shouldn't. They should be keeping themselves presentable and not. Not just getting. How's the correct term? I do say this. They shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't be just laying down like for pure man, innit? To me, it's just not It's not acceptable like that, innit? Like, what man really wants to be with a broad, innit?
Oh, I see. I see I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
You got to think. If a woman's with a man and a man's like, yeah, I've been with big gal before, the woman's gonna think, all right, cool. Like, this is just my opinion, innit? Like, a woman might just think, all right, cool. That's that. You get me? Like, all right, cool. But from you're just dealing with me right now, then I can accept that. But if I hear a woman say, yeah, man, I've dealt with beer man before, innit? Like, you're gonna be thinking, bro, like, I don't really want to be dealing with this girl, innit? Even though she's presented herself like she's just gonna be with you and she's done with that behavior and them thing there, you'll be thinking, my God, like, how much man has she really been with before? And is the thing spread out or is the thing tight up? You get it? Like, you can't get me. It's just different still,
man. Artie, what do you say to that?
It's a difficult one. I think you'd think that you'd say, right, if it's the same for a guy, it's the same for a woman, but it's just that part of whether it's become ingrained in a lot of our psyche that you don't expect a woman to do that. Although if they're well entitled to do kind of what they want, but the thing is, a little bit come back to what John said, if you're looking for a partner, sometimes you're not going to be looking for a partner in a woman that does that, you know what I mean? And that's just the way it's always been in society, isn't it? Wrongfully so, maybe, in it, because, you know what I mean, what do they say? If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander, sort of thing. So should be allowed to do the same, and they do the same. But like I said, it just comes back to that sort of mental standpoint and that moral sort of thing that has been just, you know what I mean, put to us, that it's just, yeah, if it's a guy doing it, it's all good, you know what I mean? I'm not saying every guy will come and agree with you, say, yeah, you know what I mean, rock on, son, you know what I mean? But the perception is just totally different if a female sleeps around, you know what I mean, than a man in sort of the public, isn't it? And it'll probably be that way, you know what I mean, throughout time, you know what I mean?
Okay, so what? Shall we say then, okay, in choosing, all right, this is going off. In choosing, let's just say you're choosing a partner, yeah?
Yeah.
Or for you guys, you're choosing a partner. Will it, if you could, if you could know their body count, you'd choose the lowest body count, yeah?
Well, the lower, arguably, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Johnny?
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
Okay, what about thingy? What about grooming thing? What about how women look? Is it do you look at how the woman looks? Does it make a difference? Or is it is it the inside what counts, like everybody says?
No, I think there has to be some form of aesthetics, isn't there, as well? So it's not just the inside, like everybody does say that, and I appreciate that, but there has to be a bit of both, innit? It's not just solely one or the other, because sometimes you might get some I don't know, some women that are aesthetically very attractive, but going up top, there's not much going on up there, you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, I mean, we do want that perfect balance, you know what I mean? Of kind of aesthetic looks, but still able to sit and talk with them, you know what I mean, and communicate ably with them as well, you know what I mean?
Johnny?
With me, that yeah, you gotta have some. You gotta look some part of the part in it. You gotta have a bit of looks about it because to me, if you don't have that, then I'm not gonna get aroused. You get it? So you're gonna have to look some sort of way for me to think, all right, cool. When I look at you, I wanna, you know. But it's like what Archie just said. Like you gotta have something going on upstairs as well. You can't just be those dippy gal where you just got all the looks, so you can't hold a conversation with them in it. But yeah, you gotta have something going on in the feature type. You get it? You gotta have some sort of look.
What about what if then the woman that she's not she's less attractive, okay, but she's well groomed? Does that make a difference?
Less attractive but well groomed.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah, I think that could work as well. Yeah, I think that could work. For me anyway, I think that could work. But she can't be proper butters though, you get it? Like should have to should have should have to she have to look a little bit at the part. But yeah, you can and be well groomed, but you can't be completely.
Yeah, but she could be still butters. She could, she could be still butters, but still well groomed. You know what I'm saying? No.
Yeah.
We have to keep that one. We have to keep that one indoors, innit?
Fair enough. Artie.
Yeah, I mean, look, like you said, that's a good point you made there, Teach, in terms of well groomed. It is important. I think that's something that can be considered in it. I think, you know what I mean. Because I think grooming's important. You know what I mean. And I think the person that you want to be with should have a certain level of standards in terms of grooming. You know what I mean. So yeah, that's something that can be considered. You know what I mean.
Yeah, because there was a study, and it was it found that the study of individuals in the workplace found that less attractive but well-groomed women earned more on average than women who were more attractive but less groomed. What do you think about that, guys? So what are we saying? Okay, yeah, you're you're hiring somebody. Okay, you're hiring somebody, and you're choosing who, are you gonna choose that person? Are you gonna choose the well-groomed person?
If you're hiring someone,
yeah, are you gonna? Yeah, be honest. Be honest with yourself. Are you gonna choose the good-looking woman? Do you understand? You're a good secretary. Let's just say, yeah, a bit of power over the woman. Yeah, secretary. Are you gonna choose this good-looking secretary, or the well-groomed one, or the other one that you said?
as long as she's equipped for the job, then I don't. Obviously, you want them to look a bit the part in it, but as long as they got the credentials for the job, I don't really see what the look like the proper looking wise thing does for it, innit? You could be well groomed, you could have the look, you can do whatever, but if you got the credentials, I'll give you the job either way.
No, agreed. I think that's the most important thing. You want the right person for the job. So arguably, maybe the well-groomed lady might be sort of the most suitable candidate. You know what I mean? So I'd go for her. Sort of moreover, you'd have to, a super attractive looking young lady, but if she's crap at her job, she's only going to make your life work, like, harder at work, sort of thing. So I'd rather have this sort of maybe sort of well-groomed lady that hopefully the better candidate. But yeah, overall, that's what I would go for. Who is the best candidate, whether they're well groomed or super attractive? Whoever's the best is the best. You know what I mean? And I'd take them on their merit.
Fair enough. What about the cosmetics then? What about cosmetics? What about if you're all right? Let's put on a personal level. Let's say you're in a nightclub or something, and you meet a woman and she's got a ton of makeup on her face. Does that impact anything in you guys? Then they add a woman that doesn't have makeup, or this is going into your personal preference.
Yeah, the personal less
you know what I'm saying?
The less is more for me, innit? Less is more in terms of attractiveness. Definitely, less is more.
So the woman wearing the makeup, how would that impact you?
Because it's almost like you're wearing a mask on your face, isn't it? Sort of half concealing your face. And I said, I think a lot of women, they might put a lot of makeup on for whatever reason, possibly some insecurities, or that's an image or they perceive is something that looks attractive, you know what I mean? But me personally, less makeup is more, you know what I mean? I want to see the face, the real face, not a lot of foundation on it, you know what I mean?
Johnny?
Bruv, I hate the makeup thing, bad man. I can't stand it. I understand why some women wear makeup, but I'm just not, I'm not into it. So for your question, if I'm in a club and I see a woman plastered in makeup, I'm not going nowhere near that. Because in my head, I'm thinking about, I'm already thinking in my head, when that makeup comes off, how the hell are you going to look? Because if you've got that makeup on, obviously you've got it on because you're hiding something that you feel that's like wrong with you, in it. So that I'm not. I'd rather go for the woman with no makeup on rather than the one with makeup on. Man.
All right. But okay, let's say the woman that you both chose the woman with no makeup, right? So then how does she look though? Because her skin's got to be like, if she doesn't wear makeup, she must look a certain way. She's got the lips already. The lips are already, she's got some kind of natural beauty, I would say. What would you guys say?
The same, man. Everything for me, the less is more on everything, you know what I mean? Because you just end up going down that sort of cosmetic route of what isn't fake half the time, you know what I mean?
No, totally. But like, what I'm trying to get at is like, her skin is flawless already. Do you understand?
Yeah.
She doesn't need makeup. I'm saying, are you gonna choose this person? Is it gonna? All right, she doesn't wear makeup. Yeah. So what? Her skin is flawless already. Her lips are already red. She doesn't need to put lipstick on. Do you understand?
I'd rather choose the woman without that on. Yeah, exactly. That's like that already. Don't need no makeup, nothing.
But
100%.
All right, Johnny.
Ask the question again, sorry.
Well, you said less makeup, no makeup, the better, yeah?
No makeup, no
so
makeup.
So what? Her skin, she looks immaculate. You could look at her and think, okay, she's wearing makeup from far. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Are you saying that? Or are you saying she's all plain Jane looking and it doesn't matter? Or are you saying that she's got this face or skin that it doesn't, you don't need to put nothing on it because she looks immaculate already. Do you know what I'm saying? Take away the personal preference.
Say the one with like she doesn't her skin's she doesn't need makeup in it. Her skin's immaculate. She doesn't need no makeup on, man. It's just natural beauty in it. She doesn't need all that makeup stuff on her, man.
Totally. Because there was a study into cosmetics of use of women in the workplace, and it found out women that use makeup impacted on the perception of a woman's leadership ability, which is nuts, innit? Would that that was nuts, innit? So we're looking at the male dominant society, really, innit? Having a look at women and what they should, idealistics of women, what they should be like and stuff like that. What about let's just say your partner, okay? You know, you've been with your partner for a long time, you're getting on a bit, and you ain't got no kids, and you want kids. What you gonna do? What are you gonna say to this woman?
Boy, you just speak to her, innit, and say, Liz, you know, been together a while. You ain't got children, you know what I mean? We ain't got children. It's, you know, I think it's about time we had some children kind of together, and then see what she wants to do and where she wants to take it. If that's what you really want and she's not doing it, then I don't know, innit? It's a sticky one. Maybe it's time to go. If you really want children that desperately in your relationship, and you know you've been together a while when you haven't had them with your partner, then you can have the conversation and see, innit, what happens.
Johnny?
What? So we both don't have children already? What? So we both don't have children?
Yes.
And
let's say you made a plan. Let's just say you made a plan, yeah, and then, you know, she decides that her career, okay, for example, is just kicking off, and she wants to focus on that. You know what I'm saying? How would you what would you
it's like what our teacher said. We'd have to have a discussion and see this career move that she's talking about. How long is it gonna how long is it gonna venture for? So if you're telling me you're doing this career and for the next 4 to 5 years you're gonna be fully deeply into your career, maybe I'll think, all right, cool, I could live with that. But if you're telling me some 10-year thing and you're not looking to have no use for the next 10 years, I'd have to be like, do you know what? You're a nice girl and all that. Things ain't working out, but I want kids right now, innit? And you're telling me about 10 years, I can't wait that long, innit? And it depends on the age that we're talking, is because if it's in your younger days, like where you're early 20s, mid 20s, even maybe early 30s, and they're saying about the next 5 years, maybe you could think, all right, cool. But if you're like mid 30s, like early 40s, and they're telling you about 5 to 10 years, I'll have to think, you know what, I'm going to have to take a rain check on this girl, innit, and go at me and just go find someone else because it's not working, innit? But if her career really, if she's really focused that much on her career and she's not willing to give you any kids, then you have to have a real discussion about it and sit down and be like, what is it, innit? Tell me your plans and I'll tell you what I want. And if we can't come to some arrangement or some agreement, then yeah, you have to take me personally, I'd have to take a rain check, innit?
All right. Fair enough. A final one. This is a final one. What about this? Okay. What about this boss woman? Okay. What about the, you know, getting a lot of these? I showed you. I put Artie. You saw that video that I put in the group the other day, innit? About the woman that she dashed the water on the people. Did you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So what about this? Like, 'cause this is one of them quote unquote boss women, innit? One of these boss women. They're running stuff, or they're doing doing this, that, and you know, some people might say it's trying to do a man's style of job or stuff like that. Does that work for any of you guys?
Yeah, it can work. You know what I mean? As long as there's kind of respect within the relationship, innit? Because you're earning more than me, or you're in a position of power within your job that I don't have in mine. You try to belittle and sort of demean me, then it doesn't work. But if it's just a thing where she's highly driven and she's working well and she's earning her good money, you know what I mean? Then good luck to her, you know what I mean? If that's the partner you're with, that's cool. I don't mind that. Like I said, it's just as long as there's a certain level of respect and understanding that I might not be earning the same as you, but you
All
can
right.
still contribute to a relationship, you know what I mean?
All right, but there ain't no respect in that side, because likewise, if the man is that position, he doesn't, he's not showing respect to his partner, his woman. You understand?
Yeah.
So the woman isn't showing respect. She's that boss type. Not saying this this over elaborate person trying to do some I don't know, the only way I can describe it is like some Damon Dash type style, you understand? Outspoken, when he was down with the before he left with the Jay-Z thing, yeah?
Yeah.
He was going in outspoken, like this boss figure, that they quote unquote call it a boss figure type.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. I don't think that would work with none of us. But
No.
I'm just asking anyway. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work. Not like that. Not for me. Not for me. That's too much for me. You know what I mean? I think that's too much overall. Couldn't do with that. If there's no respect, then nah. Can't work with you, love.
Johnny.
Nah, that hell no, that wouldn't work for me, man. No boss woman, or try to think she's better than me and telling me what she think I should be doing, and giving some giving man some wages, you get it, and telling you, oh yeah, you can have this amount of money to spend. Nah, brother, nah. That can't that wouldn't work for me at all.
I could picture it now, my friend. I can picture it now.
Doesn't work. That would never work with me, and it's like, though, to me, those type of women, yeah, they work for some people, but not for me.
And yeah, that's it. When we're not trying to step on nobody. Do what you got to do, but stay within your lane, right? Innit? If you're one of them boss women, one of them type of boss figures, big type, want to call the shot, be the shot caller and all that stuff, then stay with whoever's gonna accept that behavior. Yeah. And also, another thing I saw as well. Sorry, last thing is that I saw this. What about, right? Let's just say you've made it within your profession of what you're doing. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, you've made it in your profession. Yeah, and you're looking for a partner, right? Does it? Does it matter where she is, her status? Does it matter at all?
No, not really. I mean, as long as she's trying to do things for herself and she's working and she's, you know what I mean, then and moving forward sort of within herself and doing so, it doesn't matter too tough, you know what I mean? As long as you see the person you're trying to be with is quite proactive and they have a clear mindset and a goal of where they want to be, maybe, and kind of what they want to do to a point, don't really mind, you know what I mean? Don't know what Johnny thinks about it.
Does it matter, Johnny? Does it? You've made it in your profession of whatever you're doing. You've made it, yeah, and you're looking for a partner. Does it matter that you're on 6 figures earning? Does your partner have to be 6 figure earning, or she could be a universal credit? Do you know what I mean?
Nah, to me, I don't think it would matter, as long as I can see some ambition, that I can see I could be getting big bucks and the girl could be on universal credit, like you said. But if I could see she's trying to like up her game, then I don't think. To me, I don't think that would bother me particularly, as long as she wasn't on that. I need this. I need that. I need this. From she, like you said, from she can stay in her lane, and because I'm a person. If I could see you're down and that, I'd I'd spend and certain things, but I got to see that you're looking and willing to try for yourself as well, isn't it? So yeah.
No, fair enough, fair enough. The reason I asked it because most women, according to the survey I read, most women choose a man up on the same level or higher. They don't. They never usually go down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Just,
see what you're saying.
just food for thought.
Yes.
On that note, we're going into the time. We're eating in a lot of time. We're eating a lot of time. I got a couple of texts there from listener, but still a bit late, I think, though, because she must be listening on earlier one talking about Alex Ferguson. You can't applaud the referee, and untenable, spot on. Big up Johnny. So yeah, what was that? What was that next subject, old chap? On the coughing and the choking, wasn't it?
Yeah, the coughing and
choking
choking.
and the
Good
NHS.
old smoking, innit? The good old oily rags and the salmons and stuff, and sort of a little bit of sort of what's been happening in terms of cigarette tax, guys. I don't know if you've heard about the old cigarette tax that has been running for
Pray
many years.
Pray tell, old chap.
Pray tell. So every box of fags you buy, or every packet of kind of tobacco, I think 80% of that goes direct to the treasury, which amounts to about, I think it's just under 11 billion a year. And it's intrigued me, and it sort of bring me to sort of a conclusion to say, well, I don't think there's ever going to be any sort of break in smoking history. I mean, it's been around for centuries, and the fact that, you know, I mean, our own treasury are making about 11 to 12 billion pound a year off it, means it's going to run kind of forever. But then on the flip side of that, you see sort of the knock-on effect it has for the health service as well. You know what I mean? But it's almost like making money in murder. You know what I mean? Like sort of 10, 11 billion a year, and that tax is straight to them. And that's just one tax. Obviously, if you imagine, there's various other taxes on other stuff, but the level of cigarette tax is so high at 80, and the revenue they're bringing in is amazing. You know what I mean? And it's gone out, you know, like, and even because I was reading earlier on, actual numbers of people smoking are a lot less, even though there's still, I think, 8.8 million smokers in the UK. The numbers are gradually declining, but I'm wondering if they're taking into account all this vaping and stuff now. But it just amuses me kind of the amount of money the government and treasury are making, you know what I mean, per year off it. Yeah, it's having such a big burden on sort of just people in general. I think they were quoted as, I think, just over 76,000 people die every year from smoking related illnesses, guys, you know what I mean? Which is a hell of a lot of people.
Isn't that habit thing, like the like that habit thing, and profiting off of the habits, like the food, like putting all this stuff in the food and making it moreish, so you want more, even though it's bad and it's worse for you and it's killing you, but they got all this other stuff in it. Isn't it the same as this, Art, you know?
Yeah, it's the same exactly. When you're looking at sort of if you look at some ingredients and some of the food that we consume, guys, as well, isn't it? All these additives and these emulsifiers, and all the general type nonsense that they're whacking in all the food, to make them, like you said, teach a more moreish, more sort of more tastier. But like you said, it's an artificial taste, isn't it? And God knows, sort of come back to the cigarettes and the fags, what they put in the fags nowadays. You know what I mean? That has these huge sort of, I mean, sort of addictive quantities. But it's funny, I was reading, like, this is alarming. I mean, it's way different now. But in 1948, they said 82% of men in the UK smoked. Obviously, that number's, yeah, it's
That's a lot of people.
yeah, it's totally different now, to be fair. There's still high numbers. And like I said, I'm intrigued to see what they say in terms of the vaping as well, because this vaping thing's taken off a lot now, isn't it? But it is that sort of part of sort of the consumer society now that, like, obviously with the smoking, they've done it. And gosh, they were, I think I was reading there in the 60s, you know, I mean, smoking was the number one thing being advertised on the telly. You know what I mean? And they were still advertising it, I think, up to the 90s, wasn't it? And I think Johnny remembers when he had it on the old Formula One cars, you know what I mean, back in the days. I can't remember when it came off exactly.
The Marlboro Mercedes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Mercedes had Marlboro I remember JPS. Job
Yeah,
Special.
the
Remember
JPS
them all
black.
one there?
Yeah, the Rothmans in it. The Rothmans there. You know what I mean? And it is that thing of just making money off people's misery. But it was just weird. I was looking at it over the week and I never realised that the sort of 80% of every box of fags or tobacco you buy just goes straight to the treasury, you know what I mean? But yeah, it has such a huge strain on the health service. You know what I mean, they say they lose nearly £9 million a year on lost productivity, kind of within that alone.
So it's like they create the problem and they actually pay for the problem as well. What kind of, it doesn't make no sense, does it really?
No, and then you got the medicines that get involved in it with people. So it's almost like you said exactly. You hit the sort of nail straight through it. You sort of create the problem with the dirt and sort of the cigarettes way back since when I was reading. You know, what's his name? Richard Benson and William Hedges. You know, they were formed in 1873. So these sort of, you know, I mean, cigarette companies have been running now for, you know, I mean, into the centuries now. And yeah, in recent times, I don't know if you've seen on boxes of fags and kind of tobacco now, they put all these sort of health warnings and stuff on them now.
Do you think it works?
No, I don't. I doubt it. I mean, saying that, well, as I said, when I look at the numbers now, the numbers are decreasing over time. I mean, saying that, there's still 8.8 million smokers in the UK now. So that's still nearly 1 in 7 people smoke fags. But it sounds like it's kind of decreasing over time. But I don't think that sort of advertising campaign, you know what I mean? If you're a strong smoker for a period of time, sadly, I don't think that's going to bother you, you know what I mean?
Is it decreasing, or are they trying to change? Because a lot of people are vaping nowadays, and you see all types of different vape machines. I've seen some big fuck off ones to some little small things that looks like a pen, you know, a little pen they're smoking. But
like or you see one with, like, it's coming with a cloud of smoke. There's a guy in work.
Some big fuck off ones, the big fuck off ones,
when
totally.
Blowing out the smoke, it's like Jesus.
Totally, the big fuck off ones. But the thing is, nobody knows the implications of the vapes yet.
Yeah, well, it's coming, as they're saying, there are levels of, you know, I mean, there's still nicotine in there.
100%.
And I think they're being sneaky with it as well, in terms of they do it in these little flavours in it. Oh, I can't remember, even all the boys at work have them. They're like strawberry ice watermelon, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they all got flavours. But I mean, that's just like, that's like going to take a shisha. It's the same thing, because the shisha comes in different flavours as well. Have you tried it before?
Yeah, I've tried the shisha before.
Have you tried it, Johnny?
Yeah, I tried it.
And you tried the different flavours, yeah?
Yeah.
It's just a waste. What a waste of time, innit? It's like you're not even inhaling it, right? What a waste of time, innit?
Yeah.
It's not even. You're not even getting like a buzz off it. It's just.
That's what I'm saying. What for?
You're just there choking up your lungs for what?
Well, like you said, though, innit, it's just this habitual thing, isn't it, that they're taking advantage of with the cigarettes and obviously the high taxation on it, which they're making billions of pounds off every year. And it's just another industry, isn't it? And like, kind of like Teacher was saying, they do it with the food market, and sort of cosmetic markets as well. They're doing it with, you know what I mean, and exploiting it to the highest level. Sadly, it is, isn't it? It's kind of literally making money off murder. I think a lot more should be done about it. You know what I mean, guys? I don't know what you think in terms of. I suppose people will always argue it's their freedom of choice if they want to smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean?
That's what I think. I think it's everybody's choice, and you know, if you want to kill yourself, who am I?
Yeah.
Why should I stop you? Go and kill yourself. That's all right. You know, I don't know. Everybody should have the choice of what they want, and look, we know the implications or not. And you know, if you're, it depends what you want. You know, if you want to live a healthy life, you will stop yourself, innit? If you don't, then you won't. What do you think, Johnny?
No, it's real. I'm not into this trying to persuade people to stop smoking and all that. Like you said, if you want smoke, smoke. And I might want to go back to what you lot were talking about earlier when you're seeing certain pictures on the packets and stuff like that. At first, when you look at it and think, "Oh God, could this happen to me?" And then it's like a split second, and you think, "Fuck it, let me just carry on." Anyway. You get it? It's like it puts a thing in your head at first, and you just, all right, let me just smoke anyway, innit? So I don't reckon that the pictures and the all them thing. I don't reckon it makes a bit. It may. It's like what he said. It may bring down certain things where it may work with certain people where they may like, do you know what? I don't want to end up with teeth like that, or my lungs, or my or my toenails, or certain. Cause I've seen the world of pictures, and I've seen about 20 different pictures in it. So, or maybe it puts off new people that are just start smoking and they buy their first thing and look and think, oh,
Nah.
maybe it does have an effect. But to me, if you want smoke, smoke. If you want stop smoke, smoke. Get me? Just do what you're doing.
Well,
Yeah, I
listen,
think the hardcore seasoned smokers, they're not gonna be swayed, sadly, by a few images on a box or anything like that. I mean, at least like they've took the advertisements off TVs, and you used to have the snooker and the darts were sponsored by Embassy, weren't it? Embassy World Championships.
Yeah.
And then what was it now? Was it I don't know, it was like a gambling firm now, not much better, you know what I mean? But yeah, they've kind of stopped all that now, all the cigarette advertisements in terms of that. But yeah, the seed's already done there anyway. I think a little bit too late with that, but better late than never. But like you guys said, I think if those hardcore smokers, people have been smoking for sort of 30, 40, 50 years. Sadly, the chances are those people won't ever stop. You know what I mean?
Look, let's not guess. Johnny, do you smoke?
Yeah.
Do you buy the cigarettes with them packages on it, with them pictures on the packages? You buy them cigarettes or whatever you use. Has it got them pictures on it?
The pack of tobacco, yeah, but don't they all come with them, or is it just certain?
I think so. I think it all comes with it now.
I think it's all now, John. I think they're in it. I think that's kind of legislation that's gone through now. They have to sort of depict those images and sort of scare you away.
So that doesn't help you, Johnny. No, that doesn't deter you. That doesn't.
No. Like I said, I look at the picture and think, ugh, and then you just carry on.
Then roll up another thing.
Yeah, you just roll up the next thing, innit? And just it's like your first sight, and you're like, oh, right, look at that person's teeth on the thing, and then you just carry on, innit?
Artie?
Yeah, I'm an occasional smoker, and no, the boxes don't, the images on the box don't put me off. Exact same now. I think it's that little thing you have a look at it and say, oh, no, right, that looks mad, but then you say, oh, fuck it, I'll just pull out a fag anyway, you know what I mean? And Yeah, so like I said, if you are going to smoke and you have been smoking for a while, doesn't matter how many you smoke, then I don't think those images will put you off. But let's hope they stop a few people from smoking if they don't want to, or like you said, if they're new to the game and they've seen that box, they might think, oh no, and then they don't. But I think once you're into it, I think no, you're going to do your thing anyway. Innit? That's not to say that people can't stop. I'm sure there's been many a long-term smoker that has actually stopped. You know what I mean?
So you want to round up, old chap?
Yeah, as I said, I think that these. I mean, it's always going to be legal. I don't think it will ever be illegal. I think the fact that the Treasury make £11 billion a year off it, but as I said, on the flip side, it puts pressure on the health service and stuff and job productivity. That's all irrelevant. I think once there's a market like that, and it's been going on for decades, arguably centuries now. You know what I mean? People smoking the old grouts will be smoking them forever. I don't think long after all us guys are left here, I think they'll still be smoking them. You know what I mean? And sadly, people will be making money off it. But there you go.
All right, cool. AOB guys. All other business. Anything else apart from obviously the big match today. The big.
What was that, Rangers Celtic?
No, I said the big match, mate. I said the big match, yeah. Not the big issue, not the big issue.
Easy.
The big match, with the drumming of United. Not really, where the drumming, it was 1-1 until extra time or something like that, innit?
Yeah.
It was 1-1 to extra
and then
time.
The man
it was
done
nuts.
The business.
It was nuts, mate. Havertz didn't do nothing again, did he?
No, another
Except
shit match from him.
Tried to get a penalty.
Yeah, he tried to jump for the penalty. But on a positive note, he seemed to have gone back to his original formation with you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the team. Yeah, he had to do that, innit? Because Partey weren't there, was he?
No,
he's injured for that thing. That Lee was right. Remember, I was telling you about that, Johnny.
Yeah, you said he called it, innit?
I said to you as well. Yeah, that he's injured. 4 months, potentially 4 months. Johnny. Okay. No worries. So what, you boys won? What was it, 1-0? The old derby?
Yep. Take that all
the old
day.
firm?
Yep. It was not the best game, to be fair. Stuff like that I wasn't expecting to win today, to be fair, you know what I mean?
No.
So that's a good sign. Cut of 2 or 3 VARs in that one that were quite interesting. One was correct. They'd argue one was given incorrectly. It was a tight call, but it was a good win. I didn't expect it. We should get a lot better throughout the year. I think more questions for the Rangers manager, to be fair, to answer. He's had a bad week getting thumped in the Champions League qualifier and sort of losing to us now in a game where a lot of people outside it thought they kind of would have won. So, no, what happened? The boxing roundup was good last night. Anyone see the boxing, boys?
Saw the highlights.
Yeah, just the highlights, and it was.
Just looked easily. It looks like he just handled the business. He done what he was supposed to be doing all the whole time and just dealt with it.
Yeah, it was conclusive, wasn't it? It was absolutely conclusive. He didn't lose a round. He won every round and also put him down a couple of times. He looked like that guy weren't there though, like he was dead. That guy, you know what I mean? Time had caught up with him a little bit, you know what I mean?
All I know is the one that was on Channel 5, the Friday night, that was much more entertaining. The 2 matches that I saw, the Lyndon Arthur, and this Antwi guy from Stockwell. I think he was from Stockwell as well. They were just 2 action fights. I don't care. It's like both four of them. They came to fight. You understand? All of them came to fight, and they all had something to lose, and it's one of the best nights of boxing I've seen in a long while. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll have to look out for that one. I haven't seen it, but I'm
Can't
sure
they-
it's on the five. They
Yeah.
got these sort of
Replay
catch up
thing.
on five. Yeah, got to catch up on five. I'll have to look on that
Yeah,
one.
I'm telling you, go and look for that and watch that fight, man. It was that woman that done the athletics, the black woman
Yeah.
that hosted it. She was there with Bunsey. It was
Oh,
really
yeah,
good,
Buns.
man. It was really good. That night was
No, I'll
really
have to
good.
look on that one.
Definitely.
Well, trying to think anything else. Chat a little bit of other sport, a little bit US Open going on.
Andy
There's all the
Murray's
Brits
out.
got that. Oh, I think there's one left at the moment. Yeah,
I saw he got straight sets.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah. Is that it? At the
Someone
end,
straight sets him, and he was talking like, "Boy, I think these tournaments is too much for me now." You know what I mean?
Yeah. So no, few bits and pieces. I think there's a break now, and there's an international break on the footy now. The Euro qualifiers, I think, one next week, I think. Yeah, it's a little piece of time there for the players to recover. Trying to think anything else happening in the boxing. No, I didn't see anything else there. The tennis.
Well, Johnny. But Hazim Rahman, no?
Hazim Rahman Jr.
No, I'm just
Where's
chatting
Johnny
shit.
there?
I don't know. I was just trying to catch him. I don't know where he is. I think he's gone or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, what else?
But no, that's about it. I think didn't really catch too much other sport. I said a few games today, innit? The usual suspects one, actually. Well, not the usual suspects, but sort of the cities are still up there top and that. A good win for you guys, still in the game up there, so good start.
All I know is this week is going to be blazing. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, got some great weather this week, guys.
It's going to be blazing.
A lot more with them about.
It's going to be blazing. All right, see him there? Where did gone?
No, the funny thing is, I could hear you lot, and then I heard when you said the thing, and then I looked, and then I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Yeah.
About some Hazim Rahman or
chatting
something.
rubbish. I was chatting rubbish to get you to talk. That's why. And I know you would answer to that. So no, I didn't hear. So I thought, okay. But yeah, now listen. This week's gonna be a scorcher, man. Get out there and enjoy that. Listen, get some runs in, get some exercise in. Hit the streets, hit the parks. It's gonna be a scorcher, mate. They're gonna be out. You know what I'm saying, Johnny? You have to trade the gym for the streets this week.
Do a little street workout, yeah.
Just this week. Remember in the huts when we was running the huts.
Yeah, I remember when you was doing that.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be them kind of things outside. It's gonna be like Venice Beach out there without the beach, you know.
Gold's gym.
Early though, before the sun blazes, because you don't want to dehydrate and drop out there. You know what I mean? That's about it. What else, Johnny? Did you see the boxing? You got to get that Channel 5 thing on the Friday night thing. You got to check that.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check the 5. No, yeah, I have to check the catch up on the 5 player or whatever you call it.
Yeah. I'll have a look at that one as well, boys.
Because that boxing last night, it didn't.
Listen, I knew that Friday. From I saw that Friday one, I knew it was gonna be better. 2 good fights in a row. You don't get that. That's never happened. That hasn't happened since old school Lennox Lewis days. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
2 in a row.
To keep that one.
You had the shit Formula 1 on today as well, isn't it?
What's that?
The ship Formula 1.
Oh,
was it?
Yeah, it came on, yeah.
Yeah, Max broke the record. He's won 10 races in a row.
Ratted, what? There's a setup there. I set up that.
10 in a row, you know.
And Red Bull should have won every race this season.
That's a mad thing, isn't it? 10 races.
It's stupid, man.
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
strange, isn't it?
I think Sebastian Vettel did hold. He was tied with Max with 9 in a row, and then my man's won it today with 10 in a row. But it's crazy, man.
Too much, mate, isn't it, guys?
Well, they should just put everyone in the same car and this race, because this thing is just stupid now, man.
You see that what you just said there? That's proper skill race. If everybody's driving the same engine and car and all that stuff, this is some bullshit.
No, that's stupid.
Look, all the other teams could have your different sponsors on the car, yeah, but just put everyone in the same skeleton, innit? Everyone's got the same skeleton car, but you've got your different sponsors on there, and just race.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be more even sport, in it now. It's just all about the car.
This upgrade, that upgrade. Put everyone in the same car. 20 cars. Each team has 2 cars each, and you just race.
Yeah, of course, man. That'll be better now.
That's crazy.
Anyway, hour and 30 minutes later, movie time. You understand? Movie time. You understand? We went in, and we tried. Yeah. Anyway, we went in. We done good, guys. Good session, guys. Yeah.
No worries, guys.
Big up everyone out there. You know, subscribe. Yeah. Can we get some more subscribers, please? Yeah. Tell your friends. Yeah. Subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. And get everybody else to subscribe, yeah, and listen in and tune in. What's going on? Big up listener for the comments. Blessings all the time, every time.
Always.
Thank you, guys, and
thank you.
We're out, man. We're out.
We out, guys. Have a good one. Blessings, everyone.